It's September 2nd, 2023. Japan versus Cape Verde in the Okinawa Arena. Para sa iba, this is just a normal classification game to determine the seedings of 17th best to the 32nd. Pero sa Akatsuki of Japan, this win will mark a significant moment in their basketball history. With 10 seconds remaining, this victory over their opponents means they officially qualify for the 2024 Paris Olympics. They did this by being the top Asian team in the whole World Cup field of 32 nations. Prior to this game, they have also beaten a favored European team in the name of Finland with a score of 98-88. Oh, they're also led by this guy. That's Lauri Markkanen, NBA All-Star, the finisher, whatever you want to call him. They outscored the Wolfpack 35-15 in the fourth quarter, adding more to the record books. That was officially the first time they have beaten a European team. Days after, this time against Venezuela, they were down heading into the fourth quarter but did the impossible once again and came back from the dead. This time outscoring the Venezuelans 33-15. So how in the world did it turn from the Philippines beating Japan with regularity from this to this in a matter of 2 to 3 years? It all started with this man right here. That is Coach Tom Hovas, the architect and brains of the Japanese men and women national team. He was hired as the head coach of the women's national team back in 2017, and just 4 years later, he led them to a silver medal in the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, the first of its kind for a Japanese basketball team. In September 2021, Coach Tom was appointed as the head tactician of the men's basketball team, and that's when the magic started to happen. As I was trying to look for the secret sauce or recipe on how Hovas made his team so competitive, first it all begins with instilling confidence. So ano ibig sabihin yan? Let's enroll into the school or masterclass of Coach Tom Hovas. In an article by Nippon.com back in May 2022, he mentioned, and I quote, "For some reason, Japanese athletes lose confidence when they play internationally. My work as head coach started with trying to figure out why this was. I told the players to aim higher, but they weren't mentally prepared. They didn't believe they could win a medal." In short, the Japanese lack of confidence is what held them back in the international stage for so long. He also stated, "You won't find a group of players this dedicated anywhere in the world. We're talking about a group of gym rats who practice shooting all day, every day, and spend their every waking moment in the gym. This regimen is ingrained in them from high school. I didn't sense the confidence and self-respect that normally comes with a work ethic like that. My first job was to change that." So this quote right here is what set the tone. By having self-respect in your abilities and what you can achieve, then the wins will come. Not fearing your opponents is essential. Second reason to Japan's ascension, courtesy of Mr. Hovas, is building trust between coaches and players. Ulitin ko coaches and players. Yes, it's the players who are the ones putting the ball in the basket, but that is why coaching and guidance is so essential even at this age on what kind of players we will see on the court. Kapag di mo nabigyan ng confidence yung player or give him reassurance that you have a plan for him, then there's a good chance he will either be discouraged and affect his level of play. So context para sa Pilipinas, the Kai Soto almost non-inclusion to Gilas. In a way, parang mind games in the interviews. So here, sa makita nyo sa article na to, para ma-refresh yung memory nyo, there was a point na ready na yung Gilas to move on without Kai Soto in the World Cup team. At that time, Coach Chotre said in his article by One Sports, "You can't just come and show up and be on the team. It doesn't matter who you are. You have to be able to be part of the preparation." So, in a way, the 6-time PBA Coach of the Year has maintained that full commitment to Gilas Pilipinas is of utmost importance. Soto or any other player at that doesn't have a VIP pass. That's what he meant. Isa pa, July 28, 2023. And when Kai at this point had already committed to play for Gilas, I saw this article in spin.ph wherein Coach Chot was being interviewed on CNN Philippines Sports Desk. Sinabi niya na, "Yes, he is here. He showed up for a couple practices but today he did not come. His handlers are telling us that he needs to rest because there's an issue with his lower back." So to go straight to the point, passive-aggressive yung comment. And for a young kid like Kai, you have to communicate things with him properly. Hindi nagagana sa panahon ngayon yung tough love or magparinig sa media like how Phil Jackson used to do with Kobe Bryant. It's 2024. Not everybody responds to that kind of treatment. Granted na may injury rin siya na iniinda when the game started, I felt like we could have still utilized him better, especially during the Philippines games in the World Cup group stage. If we compare that now to this Kai Soto that we saw in the last 2 games of the Philippines in the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers, it's a night and day difference when trust is given to a young developing player like him.
Right now, what I may say about Kai, he is going to absolutely dominate Asia. I've always felt that. If you get him in the right spots, he can absolutely dominate Asia. For him, the next spot is to get up to the European level and the NBA level. And we're hoping that we can help him get into that level. And there may be a time when we might lose that. You know, he may not be able to join Windows because he might be in the NBA. And we'll be very, very proud of that.
Para sa player, kapag binigyan ka ng malaking role ng coach mo, kapag pinagkatiwalaan ka, binigyan ka ng piloto, talagang sky high yung confidence mo sa player. And hindi pa niya sabihin na naparapat sa akin, pero alam ko malaking tiwala sa akin, gusto din, malaking tiwala ako sa player. Kaya kita naman sa mga players talagang all out and maganda yung pinapakita.
After seeing those videos, it reminds me of this article I saw on Keisei Tominaga and his relationship with Coach Tom. For context, Tominaga is like Japan's Steph Curry. In fact, tawag sa kanya Japanese Steph Curry upon further research. Why? Because he plays like Steph Curry. Yun lang naman yun. He also plays in the US NCAA with Nebraska, averaging 25 minutes per game. Sa article na to, nakwento ni Hovas na yung first practice niya with the men's national team, napapansin niya na si Tominaga pulls up from way out sa 3-point line. Then he mentioned this quote right here. But he's the type of guy, he's so funny. He'll shoot a long shot, then he'll look at the bench. Like, is that okay? I'm like, dude, don't stop and look at the bench. It's okay. That's the kind of coach we need. That's what I see right now from Coach Tim Cone. That's confidence that you're giving to your player. Moving on, the third reason why they have rose through the ranks is because of identifying, developing, and creating a system that best utilizes their local talent. Let's look at their 2023 World Cup roster. What do we notice here? In their 12-man roster, 10 players play in the B-League. Only 2 play outside the country, and that's Yuta Watanabe with Memphis and Tominaga with Nebraska. Coach Tom Hovas employs a fast-paced style of offense with heavy emphasis on high-volume 3-point shooting and has built a squad that is perfect in executing his vision on what kind of basketball he wants to see. Some notable players na hindi ko nakalimutan ever since following them in the World Cup, kasi inggit talaga ako sa Japan, no? Na nakalusot sila sa Olympics, tapos tayo hindi. Anyway, Yuki Kawamura, 22 years old, had 25 points and 9 assists versus Finland, including this clutch step-back 3-pointer. Keisei Tominaga, 23 years old, shot 6 for 8 from 3 for a total of 22 points versus Venezuela. Makoto Hiyajima, veteran of the team at 33 years old, scored 17 of his game-high 23 points in the 4th quarter over the number 17 team in the world. Yudai Baba had a good game with 15-4-2 against Germany, although with a loss. And of course, we cannot forget about their import in Josh Hawkinson that fits like a hand in glove for the Akatsuki. He averaged 21 points and 10 rebounds, all while shooting 58% from the field and 30% from 3. Japan has proved that you do not need one overwhelming player to get wins, like how with the Philippines with Jordan Clarkson, overwhelming player, a 6th man of the year in the NBA. After all, basketball is a team game, and you need to maximize each and every one player you have on your roster. And of course, having the right system that fits those players. It's also worth noting how the B-League has now arguably turned into the premier destination pro league in Asia, with FIBA rules being implemented, 10-minute quarters, and 2 imports being allowed to play in the domestic league. This has only helped the locals get better tenfold. Being used to high-level competition made the Japanese more confident in return whenever they go out for international duty. That's the reason why guys like Kai Soto, Dwight Ramos, the Ravenna brothers are staying there as well. Not just because of the compensation, but the type of opponents they face day in and day out makes them better players. While I was doing this research, another interesting here na nakita ko yung ang dami palang Japanese players playing the NCAA, 21 players to be exact, further emphasizing their development needed for their young guys. So for context, sa Pilipinas, dalawa lang. Dalf Panopio, who already has played for Batang Gilas, and Josh Hardiman. No idea who he is. Knowing all this, I'm hopeful that under Coach Tim Cone's guidance and the new leadership of SBP under Miss Erica D, one day, tayo na yung makakwalify sa Olympics. It could be this year or sa 2028. One thing for sure is that the whole nation will be here to support through the good and the bad. I'm sure naman na-research ng SBP on how Japan did their revival. And sana, tayo na yung maganon. Peace.